Good morning everyone and welcome to today's session. We are focusing on 5 steps for you to be able to create better content online without having to work harder, without having to do more, without having to constantly come up with new ideas, and without having to constantly feel like you need to be online to serve your audience. So, hey Caro, we are going to be focusing all around everything that it means to create this powerful content, but in a way, like I said, that means that you don't have to do more, you don't have to create more, you don't have to come up with more, and it's easy for you to implement. Hello Maria, hello Leanne, hey girls. I'll give you a moment to come on. I have, if you've seen my stories, just come back. Morning Becky from a 10K run, and now I'm ready to start the day. So, I would love to find out from all of you. I'm taking my notes. We're going to do what we've been doing for the last, numerous lives, and do a bit of a check-in. So I'd love for you to share with me one word about how you feel right now. So we're going to just do a quick check-in. How do you feel right now? What are you focusing on today? Just let me know where you are with yourselves and how you're feeling, and put that into the comments box. Let's start with our check-in, our little inventory of ourselves. Pumped. Love that word. Feel nervous for my first live tomorrow. So exciting though. And it's so exciting to take action, take action. Your first live, that is unbelievable. Anyone else, how are we feeling today? Morning Helen, finally up at 7:30 this morning, an hour before work, feeling fresh now. Love that. Striving, great word Maria, great word. Yeah, it makes such a difference when we think about, this isn't to do with this content, but how you go to bed says a lot for how the next day will go. So I went to sleep last night, we were going for a run this morning, and I said we're going to do 10K, and my legs were really sore, but I did it because I'd already said that that's what I was going to do the night before. So it does make a really big difference. Hey Becky, morning. So yes, it makes a huge difference when you get yourself up. So daily inventory, anyone that's just joined us, let us know your word, how you're feeling, checking in with yourself. Morning. Checking in with yourself, what are you focusing on? How are you feeling? Let me know, have a conversation. Then the second thing that I want to find out from you, out of 5 is super confident and nailed it, happy, and it's all converting and going really well. How confident do you feel about your content, what you're creating, and knowing the purpose for why you're creating it? So let me know. Morning, Claire. So out of 5, where would you say you are on that scale? How confident you feel in the content that you're creating, the purpose of that content, and knowing where that content is taking people to, and how successful that's happening. Just let me know so I can kind of see where you are with that as well. And then I'm going to dig into my 5 steps for you to create 2.5 to 3. Okay, perfect. For you to create the best content, but without you having to do more. Hey Claire, without you having to do more, without you having to constantly think of new ideas and all of those things. Hey Jenny. So I'm really hoping this is going to give you some very simple, tangible steps, morning Sam, for you to take action and see a result and an impact from now. Morning. Morning, Emma. 3 to 4, depending. I love creating, just finding my feet to know 100% what's right for my audience. Love that. I'm so excited for this. Me too. Happy for from a personal level. I love that, Becky. Love that. That's so good. Hey, Emma, just so you know, oh my gosh, after yesterday in our call, I did a 10K this morning. I was like, yes, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to feel pumped. So I love this new running vibe. At the moment, I don't create much content. I do a few layouts, but focus on practicing coaching, offering my support in groups and my profile, so I'm not sure. Would say too. Okay, yeah, so this is something else we need to think about, making sure that we are able to layer serving and coaching and our content, and making sure that they coexist. They coexist for sure. That's really, really important. Any other feedback on how you're doing? And then I'm going to get started. Hey, look, hey. Get you, I'm having a day off, back to, yeah, love that. Definitely need the day off for sure. We had 3 days off. Hey, Kaylee. Okay, any other feedback about content, what you're creating, how you feel about your content? Do you have any questions about content that you'd like me to cover in this session before I get started? Hey, Ruth, I'm on it, flipping this challenge time on its head so we can be more productive. My word is pumped. Yes. I freaking love that. And that is what we want to do. Now, here's the other thing. I'm happy with content creation, but I'm not clear on what it's leading to. Okay, good. That's very good, Claire. We can talk about that for sure. Morning, Lauren. So yeah, here's the thing. This is the other really important message here. Now, if you listened to the podcast yesterday, if you didn't, go and do that. And it's all about the choices that we make. You know, we do or we don't, essentially. And it's the same with our content. We create it or we don't. But we don't always have to be physically creating it every day in order for it to be fresh, exciting. Was this on the schedule? Lost track of. Yes, this was. It was on my stories on Instagram. Yeah. So let's start with, where are you with content and how what would you like me to cover? Because I have maybe 6 things to go in these 5 steps that I want to talk to you about, but I'd love to find out if there's anything specific you would like me to go over as well. The podcast was amazing. Thank you so much, Jenny. Yeah, I just felt like it was the right thing to share at this time, and, you know, with our mindsets and where we are with everything, for sure. So yeah, let me know where you're feeling with content and what you would like support with, and then I'm going to just dig into my steps for you to be able to create the best content. Thank you, Leanne. And do it in a way that is really, really streamlined for you, which is so important. So here, let's talk about this then. Content, your content should be doing one of 3 things. This isn't even one of the steps. This is just what you need to know. So, and of course, we talk about this. There's so much online. Of course, there is so much online. There is so much around this topic, but these are the 3 things that I really, really stand by. And if you're in the BMA, we've already had some trainings on this, and there's going to be more on this to come in May when we focus on selling and sales and how that all fits in with your content. But the primary focus, I don't know how you'd explain this, but I love how you structure all of your Instagram posts. Okay, yeah. Job to do today to listen. Did some catch up yesterday. Love that. Morning, Kirsty. Yeah, okay, we can talk about structure. There's 3 main things that your post, your content, anything that you're doing should do for someone. For your existing clients, for cold leads, for warm leads, absolutely for everyone. So if nothing else, this is the baseline structure that I follow. This is a baseline of how I produce my content, how I think about my content, and what I put out there. And ultimately, these are the things that I'm really going to be honing in on by the end of this session. Morning, Ellie. Well, evening for you. You know, these are going to be the things that I really want you to focus on. So before I even go into the steps, let's talk about the 3 purposes of your content. So the number 1 purpose for your content is to engage. So you are trying to engage your audience in a conversation of some kind. So you want your content to be engaging. That's the first primary goal here, the first building block. The second building block, and you don't do all of these things all of the time, and there's, you know, support resources on this in the BMA as well if you're in there, but you don't do all of this all of the time, but it's important that you understand how this all interlinks. So it's either going to be engaging, starting conversations, prompting conversations, allowing people to enjoy having conversations with you. The second thing is going to be informative. You're going to give information. It could be some top tips, it could be strategies, it could be lives, it could be webinars, it could be masterclasses, series. You know, we're doing something that provides information, okay? I feel like mostly on my Insta stories, I don't have a clear line, like it's all over the place. I've been telling myself that I have to script and plan them as I do for my YouTube. I feel resistance to do it because more planning to do. This is the thing, it's not more planning to do. This is what we're going to try and work out today. So that's the second thing, informative. So your content should give information, not all the time, but sometimes. And the final thing that you want to do is make sure that your content is empowering or inspiring or some kind of motivation for your community. You want your content to come alive. You want your content to allow people to feel like it's going to help them move forward. So the primary focus, before we even dig into how you can make sure that you're producing the best type of content and for it to be consistent and not you having to do a billion bits of work every day, is to recognize that no matter what, ask yourself those three questions. Is my piece of content today, is my post, is my live, is my story, is my caption, whatever it might be, is it engaging, is it informing, or is it empowering? Which of those three categories, and it can be more than one, but which of those three do you want to focus on? Where are you going to focus your time? Where do you want to focus your energy? Where are you putting that type of content? Okay, so that's the first thing that I really want you to start honing in on. Laser focus on that. Because irrespective of what else you're doing, if people can come to your platform and they can feel like they can talk to you, they can engage, they feel like they're getting information from you, you're serving them, and they feel empowered to go and take action, they feel good, they're much more likely to continue to do that with you and stick around, okay? So that really helps in terms of your retention. Any questions on that, let me know, but I'm going to go into my steps now. And if you've been to these sessions before, once we get into the steps, I kind of go through them, and then any questions that come up, I answer as and when, but that would be great. If you do have questions, just put them in the comments box. So of course, you know, I'm here to serve you, but I'm here to have a conversation with you as well. So talking to my phone otherwise becomes quite one-dimensional, shall we say. So, and after my run, and I haven't had breakfast yet, I'd love to have chats with you all and have conversations. So please, hey Bhavna, you know, get stuck in. Ask me any questions, use this time and with me as much as possible. So the first thing that I want you to do with your content, and this is the best piece of advice I could give anyone, whether you are really confident in your content and what you're creating, or whether you are a bit unsure and you need some clarity, this is something that I make sure I try and focus on with as much of my content as possible. You must simplify everything. Simplify everything. Morning, Hannah. So with your content, if you're thinking about the fact that you want to put out, you know, this webinar, you want to put out this training, you want to put out this ebook, this resource, you want to do some posts, you want to do a live, whatever it might be, you have to make sure you simplify. And what I mean by that is, I would like you to start breaking it down into these three questions. Let me know if you have a pen and paper, and I'm going to ask you these three questions. Just put yes and some thumbs up, and then I'll be able to rattle these off. So when we talk about simplifying, you have to recognize that we want them to attach to something that you're saying, and they're not going to if there's too much in one place. It's just not what, okay, one person's got a pen and paper, classic. So if you don't, then you're gonna have to come back. Okay, a few more people. If you do a story about stepping out of your comfort zone with tips, would you be able to write a post on your feed about the same tips? Yes, 100%. 100%, you would make them congruent. Yes, okay, 2 people have a pen and paper, right. If you don't, then you have to come back and take notes. So when you're thinking about keeping it simple, these are the 3 questions you need to be thinking in your content. If someone found this right now, would they know what to do next? Would they know what to do next? Okay, so that's the first question. The second question, is there one clear focus for this piece of content? Is there one clear focus for this piece of content? Number 3, what is your, I've always got a pen and notepad when watching you. I love that. Yes, okay, good. The third one, what is your intention for this piece of content? They are your 3 focuses when you simplify. Do they know what they're doing next? Is there one main focus, and what's your intention? So often we spend a really long period of time thinking about our posts and our captions and making sure they're really long, and maybe even with lives, and we give so much away. And especially when you're starting, of course, because you've got so much to give, and you're just so passionate and you want to just share everything. But what you've also got to remember is sometimes stripping it back is much more effective, and it allows you to have more content for longer. So if you do want to do a live and it's like 45 minutes, break it down into 3 15-minute lives where you can talk about a different element, part 1, part 2, part 3, of this topic. So try and break it down. I can't write and listen. So try and break it down. Break it down so that you are focusing on these primary goals. What are they expected to do next? If someone lands on some content and they don't know what to do next, it's very hard for them to take action. So, and this leads to my next point about your content, but simplify. That's stage 1, simplify. Make sure that you are keeping it as simple as you can in terms of what can they do when they land there? What are they expected to do, and do they understand what they're doing? Hey Shannon, do they understand what they're doing? The second thing, what one thing are you focusing on? One thing. And then the third thing, what's your intention? So is it to engage? Is it to empower? Is it to inform? So you can actually start to, before you go any further, and if you're thinking, oh, I just don't know what to write about, I don't know what to share, I'm just stuck, I feel like I've said everything, go back to everything you've done and break it down further. Simplify. Make it easy for people to connect and take action quickly. That's really important. So that's the next thing I want you to do. I want you to be really, really thinking about what are you doing to answer those 3 questions when you are producing content. Because you don't, oh, hey girl, because you don't have to keep creating extensive, this makes so much sense. Good. You don't have to keep creating extensive pieces of content. You need to, this is the next point. People need repetition. People need repetition. So repeat your content. Too often there's this pressure that you need to always create fresh content every 2 minutes. Hey Jennifer, you need to keep creating fresh content every 2 minutes, okay? And there's a pressure around the fact that you need to always be coming up with new ideas and innovative ideas, and just everything needs to be ahead of the curve. Hey Gemma. But sometimes what you actually need to do is repeat the same message in a slightly different way. Repetition is key. It's the same with anything that we learn. If we are expected to retain something, we need to hear it more than once. And ultimately in your content, you want there to be a reoccurring theme, 3 to 5 max reoccurring themes on your content. So you say the same thing in different ways. You say the same thing with a different story. You say the same thing with a different image. I have 5 themes and 10 targets under each theme, and I repeat them. Yes, Lauren, love that. Do you post on your Instagram feed every day? Yes, I do, Jenny. I do post on my Instagram every day. Apart from Saturdays, I usually don't post on Saturdays just because it doesn't have as good engagement. So yes, I do post on my Instagram feed every day. So I really want you to then be thinking about, and also I use it to complement my stories. Needed to hear this. I've been stressing about new content. You are welcome. You were meant to be here, my friend. So that's the second one. So the first one is simplify. The second one is repetition. Repeat and refine. If anything, repeat it and make it better than the first time. It's not always about having brand new things all of the time. And we've spoken about this, but and I know I've said it before, but in case you weren't here at the beginning, if you are in the BMA, we're going to be talking a lot more about content in May and how to create sales. The whole of May is focused on selling and sales and what that looks like and sales psychology. So content will be a big factor. So if you're looking to convert using your content, you would like your content to actually convert and attract more clients, then that would be for you. So if you aren't already in the Bold Moves Academy, let me know and I'll send you the link. So the third thing that you need to do is, hopefully you're sticking with me. I go through these quickly. So number 1, simplify. Number 2, repetition. Number 1 has 3 questions you need to be thinking about. Number 2 is repeating the process and reframing it and refining it. Number 3, know your CTA. Do not ever put out content if there is not a CTA. Even if that CTA is to just answer a question, tell you if they agree, if this resonates with them. You always want something on your content that gives them a strong CTA. Hey Karen, and that is really important because, in fact, let's see if you've all been paying attention. Which type of content if we're using a CTA, so forget what's in the content, if there is a CTA there, what are we going to allow our audience to do? What are we allowing our community to do? Let me know. And it was one of the 3 pillars I said at the beginning about your content. Your content should do one of 3 things. So what can you do when you use a CTA? Good, Jenny, I love that. So I'd love for you to answer that question, and let's see if you have been paying attention and taking notes. When you have a CTA on any of your content, what does it allow you to do? Connect. What was the word I used? I said there was 3 things. So Caro, Lauren and Maria have got involved there. So 5% of the live participants have commented so far. Okay then, come on girls, let's engage. That's what it's doing, engagement. So having a CTA allows you to engage. So no matter what, you've hit that target. I did. Oh, Lauren, I didn't see it. Where is it? Oh, it's not there for me. How weird. Empower, Jenny, love that. Ashley, good morning. So engage. That now, so with a CTA, it could be a question, it could be going somewhere, it could be taking a survey, it could be clicking on a link, it could be DMing you, it could be absolutely anything. But you really want to be thinking about how you're going to make your CTAs on every single post. Everything that you do, you want it to have some kind of CTA. You want it to have some kind of, movement forward for your community, for you to connect with them as well. For Insta stories, do you wait for the stories of the day? Do you wait for the stories of the day before to disappear, or do you delete them before doing new ones? Asking because sometimes I find myself with so many stories on my feed, and this is sometimes I find overwhelming. Yeah, okay, I do 2 things. Sometimes I go back over my stories and I delete them if they're now not relevant. So this morning, I obviously did my stories about my 10K and the fact that I was going live in half an hour. By lunchtime today, that's not going to be relevant. So I'll delete that one and then put up this live, for example. So I try and keep it refreshed and relevant, but I don't always delete them from the day before. I just keep going. But yes, if it was things like a quote or, something that I, did on that specific day, I might delete it just to keep it refreshed. That's a really, really good question, Maria. But yeah, I would do that. If I was thinking about how you can reduce those, because I agree, sometimes there's just too many, isn't there? Okay, so that's number 3. So you've got simplify, you've got repetition, you've got knowing your call to action, making sure you know your calls to action. The next thing you need to be thinking about, and of course we could talk about repurposing and all of that, but for me, that's part of repetition, so I'm not going to go into that. The next thing that I'm going to share with you is, once someone's watched it, it won't show up again, so you don't have to worry. Yeah, definitely. I think it's more if someone new finds you on that day and then they click on your stories and then there's just so many. But yeah, once they've watched them, they don't see them again. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. There's times when I stay off stories for a bit because there's too many on mine. Yeah, I would just refresh them sometimes if they're not relevant. Does the CTA is only for the stories also on post? Does every piece of content must have a CTA? Yeah. Like I said, it could just be a question. But if there's no call to action, people won't respond. So then how are you able to engage? So yeah, on everything. On your feeds, on your posts, on your stories, on all of it. Didn't know that either. You do now. Yeah, because obviously it only comes up, with that little rainbow ring. Every time you've watched them all, if someone then puts a new one up, it gives you that rainbow ring again. But if they don't, you won't get that rainbow ring again around their name. Morning, Megan. So the next thing that I want you to do is know the relevance of the content for you and your business plan. So there should never be a point that you're putting out content without knowing the purpose of it. And if that is the case, really start to think about that. So you should have a business plan, a plan for your business. So whether that is to focus on growing your Facebook group, to launch a podcast, to do collaborations, to run an online series, to book clients, to launch an ebook, to launch your first online course, to run a membership, whatever it is, that you will always have something in your business plan and in your pipeline that you're focusing on. Every month of every quarter should have a plan and something you are working on. And if you are in launch mode, your content is going to obviously be more filtered, and focused on serving those clients, serving the people that are going to benefit from that. Hey, Jessica, and connecting with them. Hey, Helen. So it's really important that you actually understand that you want your content to support what you are doing in your business plan. And so often we don't do that. So right now, what are you working on in your business? Morning Rachel, are you selling something? Are you promoting something? Are you running something new? Are you looking to build brand awareness? Are you looking to build a community? Are you looking to build, what is it that you're doing in your business right now? What is your goal? What are you focusing on for April, potentially May? Are you selling an online course? Are you selling a digital product? Have you got one-to-one spaces? What are you then doing to allow your content to support that business plan? Because sometimes, we're talking about content recently, there you go. Because sometimes you will find your content actually confuses your potential clients. If your content isn't linked or relevant or complementary to what you are launching or doing in your business, it's really hard for people to go along that journey with you. So selling my visualization program, perfect. So then your content would want to be more focused around visualization, mindset, how that works, the performance management behind it, positive psychology, visualizing your best life. All of that would need to play a part in this. But it is really important, and this is why I said to you, again, if you're in the BMA, about understanding the foundations and making sure that you're coming from your business pillars, your business foundations, and knowing your business values to sell. All of that matters. If you have a conflict between what you're sharing and then every now and then you just put, oh, hey, like I've got a space for one-to-one, it's really hard for you to allow yourself to propel forward, but also for your audience to come along with you. Building a community and creating my course. Love that. Love that. Yes, definitely come back and watch it with a cuppa. Jessica, yeah, for sure. Building a community is so important, and that's our the next live on the Facebook page. And then there are also some support materials, again, for anyone in the BMA about building a Facebook group, growing a Facebook group, understanding how to build engagement, increasing, all of those things. But anyway, so I want you to think about making sure that your content actually links to what you're doing in your business plan. And it sounds simple, but sometimes we forget to do that. So if you are not currently thinking about what you're doing in your business plan with your content, can you allow them to be complementary? So that is your stories, your feed, your posts. What are you doing on a regular basis to redirect people back to the purpose of what it is that you've got going on in your business? So making sure that they are connected in some way is really, really important. And the final tip for you is you must make sure that there is an element of consistency within the messaging inside and outside launch periods. So I've spoken about this before, and we spoke about this, I know I keep mentioning it, but it's because it's just so freaking epic, but we spoke about this inside the BMA as well. We have to be showing up in the same way you would when you're launching as when you're not. You have to be showing up in the same way as you would when you are connecting and engaging with your audience as when you're not. I'm just put my notepad over here. So you want to make sure that you are always connecting with your audience and serving them in the same way so that they get used to, I've just finalised my business plan from the training in the BMA. I love that, and I'm so freaking excited for you, Jenny. I loved your posts in there as well that you put in about what your visions are, breaking that down and looking at your core values. Yeah, so important. You did that homework. I love it. Morning. Hi, Mel. Afternoon for you. Evening for you, sorry. So that's what I want you to be thinking about. Where is that consistent message underlying within your content? Do you always have things that allow people to download something free on your website? Do you always have a reason for people to come to your mailing list? Do you always have lives? Do you always do, Instagram lives? What do you do all the time that you don't just do when there's a launch or something happening? Because that's really important. Creating that consistency within your content allows it to be easier and flow easier for you when you are in a period of promotion, launching, and all of those things. So I really want you to be thinking about, if you're trying to simplify your content and you want your content to become something that's easier for you to actually replicate and not have to think about all of the time when you are, if you're launching and then you're like, oh, I'm just going to do a live every single day. But if you haven't done a live in a month, it's going to seem odd to your community. Do you see what I mean? So you want to make sure there's an element of consistency about how you're showing up as well and what you're doing. You want your stories to be consistent. You want your messaging to be consistent. You always want there to be an underlying consistent theme so that whether you're in a state of promotion or not, people in your community understand what's going on and they're connected with you and know that there's an element of service that's always happening throughout your content. So therefore they're going to want more of it. Does that make sense? So it's important that you then think about that. Like, are we showing up in the same way consistently, irrelevant of what's happening for you and potential clients? Okay. So they are my 5 very quick wins about how you can start thinking about creating your content in a way that keeps things simple, breaks it back down, makes you reinforce the fact that repetition is key and don't produce more than you need to, and also starting to think about what your business is doing and what you are doing to allow your business plan to be easier to be executed through your content, and making it easy for yourself as well. You want it to be easy for you as well as it being easy for your community. You want to be doing this together, you want to have that level of simplicity for you as well. Hey Sean. So have you got any questions about this? Any feedback about where you are right now, what you want more of? And remember, our next free coaching session on this page is all about building an engaged community. So if you haven't got that saved, then make sure you do. It's on Saturday at 9 a.m. But I'm really, really hoping that this gives you a very easy skeleton framework for you to start following. So that's how I am with your social media, because when I go to your Insta stories, I look to see what you've posted because I look forward to it and know I'm always going to get something out of it. See, Jenny? That's really important. Hey, hun. I think I've asked this before, but do you have a particular day or time that you batch content, or do you just note down what you want to talk about and write it there and then? I tend to, in terms of my content, I actually tend to create it. Me too. Love that, Lauren. I actually tend to, hey, Jose, I tend to create it and just save them all in my draft. So whenever I have an idea, I will create the post and save it. And then I will just come back to it when it's relevant for me or my audience or my business model. So I don't have a day that I batch really. It's just more when things come to me, I'll then just save them in my drafts. And then I post based on what's relevant at the time, if that makes sense, Leanne. But yeah, I don't tend to batch my social media content. I definitely should. Okay, hey Bew. Simplify, repetition, CTA, relevance, consistency. The last one is the one I have issues with. Going to work on it. Yeah, my Wi-Fi's playing up in my laugh. No, definitely watch on the replay. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're welcome. Of course. Yeah, definitely. Any other questions? And thank you for putting that in there, Mel, with our little content page, content breakdown. Any other questions? Anything else you'd like me to go over? We've done well here. 35 minutes. Love that. And if you do have any questions, let me know. I'm here to support and serve you. I'm here to make sure that you get the very best from these free sessions. If you haven't taken action yet to join the BMA, well, I don't know why, but make sure you come and join us. There's 50 amazing female entrepreneurs in there who are looking at growing and scaling and succeeding in their businesses and also having my support. And if you're not in a position to invest and work with me one-to-one or in my group, then this is definitely something that you should be considering and looking into. So I will leave you the link so that you can come and join us inside the Bold Moves Academy. We also have guest expert training applications happening. So if you are in the BMA, you also have a questionnaire to complete so that you can run a guest training for everyone in there, which is great for your social proof, great for your social credibility, great for elevating your status as an expert, and also amazing for collaborations and connections, which is priceless in this online world. So yes, please make sure you fill that in as well. I love this, been really helpful. You're so welcome, Leanne. You're so welcome, Jenny. You're so welcome, Maria. Maria, I really hope to see you inside the BMA. It would be amazing for you. to spend that time on a higher level of coaching and support on a consistent basis, and to have that community as well. So I hope you have, as always, loved it. Also, I posted something in class of 2020. I love your feedback. Yeah, was that last night, Lauren? Or is that this morning? But yes, I'll definitely do that. I've got coaching sessions today, but I'll do it in between for sure. I can't say enough how epic the BMA is. Thank you so much, Jenny. But yeah, definitely I'll go in there and have a look. I'm going to have some breakfast now, obviously after my run, and then going to message you now, Sam. Ruth, I can't freaking wait. I'm looking forward to reading your message this morning. Perfect. I'll definitely go in there and do that in the next couple of hours for sure. I hope you have an amazing, amazing day, everyone. I really hope this has been useful, and I really hope to see you on Saturday at 9 a.m. focused on how to build an engaged community. And if you need anything from me, you know where I am. And if you do want to come and join our amazing Bold Moves Academy, then let me know and I will make sure that you have the link for that. So I will see you soon. Have an amazing day. Goodbye for now. See you on Saturday. Enjoy your dinner, Mel.